right by Rochester, Minnesota, the Mayo Clinic. Clinic right now by Michael Byrne, working his way through traffic, going after the 114 of Justin Brayton. Brayton desperately trying to hold him off. Outside line for Byrne. Nice job so far for Brayton to cover the line. He's doing everything he can to keep that bike wide. Here's Byrne again, David.
That's a faster momentum on the outside, and you can see the difference. Beautiful line. Byrne's looking good, and when he went around the top of the hill there, this is the same exact line that Chad Reed's taken, so you kind of get the feeling they've discussed where to go out there.
And look at Matt Gerke, the other Suzuki rider. He follows Byrne through and moves past Brayton as well. Gerke crashed in the first turn of Moto 1, came all the way back from dead last to 9th, and here he is right now in the number 7 position behind Byrne, who's in 6th on the gas. Let's hear more about Byrne from Aaron. Go ahead, Aaron.
Well, guys, there was that 1-week break after Red Bud before here, and Michael Byrne was actually his own mechanic. What he did is he took his entire bike apart and rebuilt a brand new frame from scratch. He said it took him over 6 hours to do, and it's something that he hasn't done in over 5 years. It was like putting together a puzzle. On another note, though, the very first moto, he said that one did not come easy at all. Not only did he fall, his exhaust pipe fell off, he took a rock to the face. He said it was extremely challenging, and he's hoping that the second moto was going to be much easier for him.
You know, that's how cruel motocross can be. All that stuff goes wrong, and you get 3rd, and then all this stuff goes right in this moto, and here's Byrne in 5th. And he needs some positions here because he doesn't want these Honda boys to edge him out for an overall podium position. You've got Short, who was 6th in Moto 1, running 4th right now, and Tedesco, who is 5th in Moto 1, running 2nd. So Byrne's got some work to do, but he does have some confidence. He did work his way past those guys in the first moto.
Yeah, he is seeing red.
Well, so are we.
Yeah, he's, you know, I don't remember if he had the little face guard attached to the bottom of his goggles in the first moto, but he's got one in there now. And, you know, what happens is you got a full face helmet, you're like, how can you get hit in the face with a rock? Well, when you duck, which is a natural tendency, it lets a rock come right in there underneath your nose. See the little yellow on the bottom of Andrew's goggles there? Underneath that, there's nothing to protect. But your cheek, he got nailed, so it looks like he's got the mumps on one side. That didn't feel good. But he's motivated, and he wants to get around these guys, and he's certainly fast enough to do it.
So it's Reed leading the way. Tedesco, Millsaps, and Short come through next, and then Byrne. So Byrne's going to try to spoil this Honda party up around the podium positions. Here's Short in the number 4 position. Short has actually won here before in the 250 class, which is the stepping stone to this 450 Premier Division. And a lot of people thought, since he's won here before, that this could be the day that Andrew Short could get his first win. But I don't know how many times we can ask that and then have the guy do well, but not quite deliver that first victory. And Byrne told me he's looking forward to racing at Unadilla in upstate New York in a couple of weeks. That's his favorite. He thinks he'll be 100% physically peaking by then. After the shoulder injury, he wants to win. Just like his teammate and countrymate Chad Reed is doing right here at Millville. Reed on the 22 in the lead. And, you know, Tedesco led him for a few laps, but that's kind of the beauty of how Chad Reed does it. He knows he doesn't need to blow past guys on the first lap. He lets the race come to him.
I did the same thing when I raced. And, you know, if you're confident, you can go ahead and let a guy just have a couple laps, go ahead, get it out of your system. And then, you know, Chad's really cool. He's calm. He doesn't get all excited and think, I need to lead every lap. He's not like Carmichael and Stewart in that regard. He just goes, oh, what I want to lead is those last laps. So he's, you can see he's still running that outside line. And this is the section coming back through where he wanted to try to fix his line. And he moved to the outside. And watch, this is a replay of him just readjusting the clutch lever. He just does that a lot. McGrath used to do it all the time. I mean, McGrath would go off the start, get the whole shot, hit the first jump and do it. Just from the start, that heat and slipping the clutch will develop just a little bit of play, and they like that thing tight. And we already saw how important it was to have the right amount of throttle play and action. And Chad likes that clutch to be right there, so he'll adjust that thing 3 or 4 times a lap. Sometimes it's just a habit, just to relax your hand a little bit, reach out there and impress the fans.
Yeah, you know, You hear when you mentioned driving a stick shift car before, and they say, do not ride the clutch, that burns the clutch out. But in motocross, for folks not familiar, they'll use the clutch to slow themselves down as much as they'll use the throttle at times. They always tell Reed, they said, especially when Reed was in the two-stroke days, the clutch was his governor.
Right.
Control
you can
the power
slip
with
it too much. If you do that off the start, you get smoked. So
right.
Yeah, it's fine balance, and that's why some guys just went away from it altogether. Like, look, if I need the clutch, then that's just a Band-Aid for the fact that I'm blowing it. My balance is off in the first place.
Battle is on right now just inside the top 10. You got Ricky Dietrich. We've talked about it all year, the replacement rider for the injured Ryan Villopoto on the Monster Kawasaki team. And here's Nick Wey, veteran out of Michigan, who was in the top 10 last week at his home race, and looking to do that again here. This is a battle for 9th and 10th. Wey was 8th in Moto 1, Dietrich 14th in Moto 1. So a nice improvement for Ricky D, but how long is it going to last? Wey has caught him, and he's trying to A, figure out a way around him, and B, try not to eat too much of those rocks and that roost we were talking about earlier, so he's staying away from those lines.
Nick won here, right?
Yeah, this is the only, you're right, the only race that he's ever won.
So he's raced here about 100 times, and I think this is Ricky's first time. So to give the nod to Ricky or to Nick right now.
All right, Nick's going to work on him. We'll keep covering that battle. That's the mechanic for Dietrich hoping he hangs on. Stay with us here on Speed.